Hey, how's it going? IDK Edits or Pedro here, coming at you with another tutorial on how to do these colourful rays, streaks, whatever you want to call them. Now this can apply to anything, you know, variety of styles. You can even use it to reflect emotions and shit. You can say use like a lighter colour, like, you know, it makes it bloody happy. And then here I use the red, you know, it shows a bit of anger and can even give it an edge. So, you know, yeah. Alright, so first thing you want to do, find your clip, and what you want to do is turn this on to full, because we're about to do a roto brush, which is basically a mask but a quicker way. If you don't have roto brush for some reason, or your computer lags too much, just do a simple mask and you can catch up later. Right, so to do a roto brush, come up here, click it, double click your whatever this is. Then what you want to do is draw around the thing you want to mask out. So usually I'm just going around here, you know, bam, it's like drawing a bloody stick figure. Alright, bam, that got it first try. But just say you had something out here that you don't want, shit, that put a lot on, just hold Alt and then draw a red line, and it'll show you where, look, and then it cuts more out and whatnot. I'm just going to do it quickly here because, you know, you guys have time, I don't have time. Alright. Alright, what you want to do as well, this what happens is if the character's moving, which is not here, I've just got it on freeze frame, but it'll stick with the colours, like, if you get what I mean. So just say Maggie put like a hand out here and a hand's black, it'll move with the black hand. So yeah. Anyways, after a while, if you have a look over here, click, it times out like that. So what you need to do is just go a bit along to where you can see the mask again, wait for this to load, and wait up, and see how it's just there. To get it from timing out, just draw like a little sliver of where you can fix something up. If there's nothing to fix up, just put a green dot in the middle of it like that. Right, I'm just going to go through this and I'll catch up with views in a bit. Right, once you do that, you should go back to your composition, clicking up there, and you just scroll along and it'll mask it just about. Be careful not to include that. If you just see it jitter like that, just go back earlier, go back into your layer and cut that bit out. Now if I go back, should be gone and it doesn't have that jitter there. But I'm just doing it quick, so this is a rough mask. If yours turns out rough and you're feeling lazy like me, just bump the feather up a little bit, you know, blah blah blah. Alright, after you do that, you want to copy, so Control V to paste it, turn your sound off on one of your audios, click on this and turn off roto brush. Alright, now for the fun stuff. Now you want to go click off this, right click here, create a new adjustment layer, put it under the first clip and on top of the second, cut it to wherever you want, click on it, turn the blending mode, so right click here, go blending mode, turn it to color, and now you have an adjustment layer. Next thing is to put on optic compensation. Look it up. Optic compensation shows up right there. Whack it on top. Turn this to around about, I don't know, wherever. You'll see it start to drag in like that. And that just makes some colours. Then turn on reverse lens distort, and that'll whack it like that. Over here you can see this is where some of the colours are starting to come out. See, I don't want it on that side, just say I want it over on this side. So what I do is I click here and I'll move this over here and just play around with it like that. Can turn it up a bit if I don't like it, you know, yada yada. Just watch out that you don't get that bit there. Next, whack on turbulent displacement. Right, whack that on underneath. And what this does, it just distorts it a bit, makes it wiggly. You know, play with these settings. You can turn the amount up, turn the wherever it's wiggling. That's the size. You get it. This is pretty easy. Mess with the settings. You know, the longer you take with it, the better it will come out. Right, you got that all done. Now it's time for the colours. There's three ways you can do this. I'll show you them one by one. The first one is Colorama. Drag that on, and you'll see it'll start to make this weird effect first. That's fine. Just click on output cycle, then use a preset palette and you pick from here. You got some blues, this is the cheap way, some whatever the fuck that was, you got greens, you know, mess around with it. Use this as a preset to start off with. Just say you want to start choosing some colours, then you can move that a little bit, double click on the arrowhead like I did just then, and you can change it, just say I want orange. That'll change it to orange. What this grey does is it creates a grey within between the rays. You can mess with this too, just say I double click here in the middle of the circle there, and I want a whack in another grey, and it just reduces the amount of colours. You can click on them and drag them around. They'll make some funky effects. Yeah, that's the first way you can do it, and that's the way I recommend. It's the way I do it, especially when you're going through quickly. You can use all different types of these. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Yeah, just go through it. So just remember the black equals less rays. Next way you can do it is you can use the rainbow CC. I'll leave a link to this down in the description to the video where you can download it. It's just a CC, it makes it rainbow. Once you have the what's it called, the preset downloaded, go back to the start, type in rainbow CC in your effects, whack that bad boy on. Now look shit at first, go down to blending mode, and change it to colour. Now you got yourself some of this. If I play it back, which is going to lag for a bit, you can see it goes through and it cycles through the colours. Now I'm not a fan of this really, I feel like it goes too fast, but I know some of you are, and this is the way to do it. As you can see here, it goes through like that. The third way is if you want to get, if you want to spend time with it and create your own colours in different places and whatnot, look up 4-color gradient and whack that on. What you want to do is change the blending mode to colour, and then you got yourself here. What you do after this is zoom out a little bit, and you can just mess around. So just say you didn't want that yellow, you just move it out of the way, get a bit of purple. Alright, and you just want to move that around, you get your different colours. Click on this, change the colour here. This takes a lot of messing around with to get it perfect. I've used it before just when you have tons of time, Works definitely good when you have like 2 colours coming into proper things, but you got to fade it well. And yeah, so my recommendation is just to put on the colour, the Colorama, that's what it's called. I always forget how you spell it, we spell it different over here. So back on the Colorama, and then just, pick your colours through there. For the sake, I'm just going to do it, not blue, but green, and then whack maybe the black a little bit more, and you get that. After this, what you want to do is you want to whack on glow. Now sometimes this makes a difference and sometimes it doesn't. But anyways, you just want to whack it on anyway, so it's just a normal glow. You can see down here. And as you can see here, it made the tiniest difference. Sometimes it makes it huge, sometimes it makes nothing, but for the sake of this, I think it looks better without it, so I'm going to delete it and leave it off. After you do that, now you want to animate it, You want to make sure that the colours move in the background. Now to do this, we go to your field of view, click that, animate that, go to your end, and turn it up a little bit. And as you can see, once my computer stops lagging, quick way to fix this is you can turn this back on quarter. Just know that it'll make your roto brush look weird, but once you render it out, your roto brush will be back to normal. Alright. So you can see it's updated a little bit there as I was talking, and now if I go play it back, you can see it slightly moved there. If you want to go even further with this, which I've done before, you can highlight them, press F9, and graph it to make it have like a punch effect. It goes fast and then slow, whatever you call it. Alright. Another thing you can also do if you're really feeling up to it, mainly with the 4-color one, is that you can animate your colours, I don't know how to do this with this one, but you do it with the 4-color one, you can make it so that it moves around and whatnot. Just mess around with it, have time, if you're feeling tricky, go for it. That's basically it for the colours in the background. But the next thing we can put on is particles. As you see here, there's little cubes, or you can do little spots, you can do anything. So to do this, we click here, create a new solid, it can be any colour, go to the end, cut it to wherever you want, and drag it down. If you go under your adjustment layer, it'll put the color onto the particle, but if you go above it, it won't. It's personal choice, different effects, you know. Next you want to put on CC Particle World. Whack this on. And this will put you a bunch of weird shit. Now there's a ton of stuff you can change in here. I'm just going to run you through the preset I have because honestly there's so much stuff. So if I just look up here, I've made a preset called cubes. Whack that on and you see it's got little cubes in there. First thing you want to do is turn all this off. Position, radius, motion path, grid, horizon, axis box. Alright. Turn your birth rate 1.1. This should just change it. If I turn it up, there'll be more cubes. 1.1 is a good setting. Longevity, I can't even say that. Just shows how long they stay on for before they die off, because they spawn and then die off after a while. 2.6, it's just number of seconds. Next is producer. You want to turn these radiuses to these settings. You got 0.675, 0.485, 0.5. Go to your physics. Now this is where it gets quite cool. You've got the explosive. There's different ways you can do this. The explosive's a good one. It like puts it out and makes it kind of like float these settings. So you got explosive, velocity 1.22. Inherent velocity, just whack that on 0. Gravity 0.04. Resistance 0. Extra, I don't even know what that is, 0.5. Extra angle 0. Right? If you want to get it like going in a direction, just say you want it from left to right, or you want it coming at ya, or you know, turn this thing to directional axis and then change the extra angle to whatever angle you want. Just experiment with it. Next is your particle. Now you have different particle here. You can experiment with this, you know, how it rotates, the birth size. I whack that on 0.21, but you know, if you make it smaller, they'll be smaller. You make it bigger, they'll be bigger. You know that. Depth size, that's the size they die at. You make it bigger, then the ones in the background will get bigger. You make them smaller, they'll get smaller. Size variations, yeah, you got your big one and your small one here. And your opacity, you need to mess with this. If you have it too far up, it just looks ugly. 32%, I reckon that's a good thing. Alright, colors, birth to death, yep, you know all that. Particle type. Now just mess with this, go through all of them. There's some good ones, there's some bad ones. Lens convex, you get these cool dots, you know. Bubbles, you get these bubbles. Go through them. Faded sphere, that's another good one I use. You can just see it in there. So yeah, just experiment with that. I'm just going to leave it on cube for the moment. Alright. Next, extras. I haven't changed anything in here, I remember. Alright. So yeah, that's it. You know. What you want to do next, you know, if you're happy with it, you're happy with your colors, you're happy with your rays. Highlight all this by clicking, dragging down. Right click, pre-compose. Move all attributes into this new composition. Click OK. And then cut it to wherever it ends, which is around about just to where it was last time. Control Shift D to cut it like that, and then from here you can whack your motion tile, do your transitions, your shake, whatnot, it'll all stay together. Right, make sure to whack a CC on, it just makes it look extra mint. Some extra things you do, I could guess, you could whack some drop shadow on the mask, put a shadow on, you know, just experiment it. These effects, they work best when you experiment, you know. It just, yeah, that's the way to do it. Find effects, experiment with them. Thank you guys so much for 1K, by the way, it means heaps. And I'm sure I'll be here, I'll be making tons more tutorials for you guys. Anything that I find, I'll be making stuff on. Alright, see you guys. Peace.